So, and also what you're going to need is you're going to need a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of these little parchment. You can cut these out of wax paper, or you can cut them out of parchment paper if that's what you have. Parchment's a little more expensive. The wax paper is definitely cheaper, but you really need to build them on here, because what you're going to do is once we make the flowers, we're going to put them into the freezer or the refrigerator and get them hardened up so we can get them off of the thing and put them on the cake without smushing them. That's smush, skosh, those are the words. Those are the words of the day.
That's right, important.
There will be a test.
That's
so
good.
Obviously you want your wax or your parchment square to be just big enough to cover your nail. This is a number 7 Wilton nail. It's a pretty standard size. I've noticed that some of the kits that people are getting nowadays, they've got this little dinky nail, and whatever, use what you have, but think of this as a turntable. This is just another turntable that doesn't, so anyways, this is one of your most indispensable tools when you're making flowers. So
If you're going to go to the store and even a cake decorating store, it's called a flower nail.
a flower nail,
Got
rose nail, flower nail.
Got it.
Some have the little threading on them just to kind of keep you so you have a grip. Some don't, but either or, it works. But like I said, you can't build a flower without a turntable, and that's what this is. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be using a variety of tips. Usually, most of them are going to be 103, 102. I have this 233 tip, which is the one with the all the little holes in there. This comes in very handy. This is one of my favorite tips. It's also known as a grass tip. Use it for any kind of grass, whatever. This we're going to be using for centers in our flowers today. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start, what sounds good? Oh, since I only have kind of a limited quantity of some of the colors, there was like 27 colors I'm mixing here, or how, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to start out with some of the, parchment cone into the sides and then the center. And then for this one, I'm going to just cut the tip off, the end of the cone off, because I just want to use this to build my bases, okay? And this is just plain white icing, okay? See how it squishes out there like that? So, put a little bit on there, and then just squish it down.
What are those, like an inch and a half?
It's about 2 inches, I would say.
Excellent.
My husband can measure, I don't know. Okay. All right, let's start out. What are we going to do here first? That's green. We don't want green. Well, let's just do a dust. This is the dusty rose color that I did on the thing, and I think I added a little bit. It was a kind of too mauvey, I think, when I did it. So I added, I know, look at me making a mess here. It was just Christmas red and brown, but I did add a little bit of rose to it to make it a little more pinky. So see, you can see how it's a coral, but or dusty rose, but it's also, I'm going to make sure I did that right. Okay, so this first one we're going to do, we're just going to build up your center. Look at that. It's probably a good idea to have your bags all, this is going to be crinkly, huh? Okay, we're just going to do a basic rose this time, okay? So there we've got our sliding around. We don't want it to do that. Okay, so we want the fat end up, just like a regular rose. Just going to bury it in there. You're going to squeeze. Come on, squeeze out. Okay, squeeze, and you're just going to turn and bring it down. Okay, and then you're going to come back about halfway, and it's okay if it's a little wiggly like that. That's kind of what you want. So this one, you're just going to go up.
I've seen some flowers that are pretty wiggly.
I know, especially when you're my flowers. And then up and down. Okay, just your basic. And then this one, you're just going to tilt it out. Okay, that's just your basic, very basic rose, okay? So let's just set it on your tray, because that's you're gonna pop that into the thing. So how many of these do I need to make? Just make them till you use up your icing.
You put the rose in the refrigerator?
Yes, you will be putting the rose in the refrigerator or the freezer just to firm them up. Okay, another glob. It's kind of making an oval, but that's okay. Remember to keep your arms in when you do this too. So you're going to squish around. And
Oh, so you're going back and forth.
Right. It's just so you're just making a wave there. And come back and do another one of those if you want, if it's not big enough for you. Okay. Oops, not done with that color yet. Okay, and then you're just gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna make your little arches.
And the fat end of the tip is down?
Fat end of the tip is always down. Most of your flowers are like that because that makes a pretty ruffle. Okay.
Pretty.